All right, I believe now we are live. No lie, I just went live 4 times in a row. 4 times in a row. So I apologize for anyone receiving 4 different notifications on Facebook or Twitch or whatever. But on Facebook, let me mute that. Let me double check that we are live on YouTube as well. Yes, we are. Okay. That took a while for me to get all that sorted, but we got it figured out now. So I was actually talking for like a good 15 minutes before I realized that I was only live on Twitch. But yeah, now we are officially live on Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube. So I was saying that I plan on going live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday once again, and I'm trying to decide whether that's going to be earlier or right around 5 p.m. like I used to. I'm just going to kind of play it by ear and feel out what my schedule turns into. But today I'm just taking a look at some plugins, some new plugins that I picked up, and specifically some guitar VST sound selection alternatives. I was in a Discord with Another Monster Productions last Sunday. So every Sunday in Another Monster Productions Discord, he and I and possibly some other producers will be doing a Q&A for anyone that wants to jump in on that. Definitely check out his channel, Another Monster Productions, on YouTube. He does FL Studio tutorials as well, a lot of sound design stuff. So combined, I feel like we do a pretty good job covering the different aspects of FL Studio and just music production in general. So one of the questions in there last Sunday was about guitars. And they were asking about guitars that sound like Alenium and the guitars that you would hear in trap, which are very similar as well. So like Nick Mira's style guitars and just the more chill tone guitars that you would hear in R&B songs as well. So I had a few suggestions for him. Unfortunately, the guitars that you're hearing most of the time, those are live guitars. For example, with Alenium, he's using a real guitar. But the style of guitar that he's looking for is definitely a jazz guitar. To Kid, what's up? Long time no see, long time no talk. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're staying healthy out there. But the guitars that I recommended in terms of virtual guitars, I pulled up a list here, and he actually found one on his own as well. One of the guitars I actually don't have here because I don't own. I'm thinking about picking it up, but it's from Ample Guitar, which I'll get into here in a second. But the first one I'm actually going to show is the guitar that he actually came across, which I totally forgot about. But inside of Labs, we're also going to get into effects too. But inside of Labs, which is made by Spitfire, they do sample libraries that are incredibly in-depth. And they actually got their hands on Hans Zimmer's symphony or orchestral library, and they have that for sale. So that's probably the best orchestral library that you could pick up. It's expensive. A lot of their libraries are expensive, but if you're into film composing or you're looking for more realistic sounding sounds, definitely check out Labs from Spitfire, because that's completely free. And they also have another library that they just released that's $49 called Discover. It actually has 3 different tiers. There's the $49 version. I forget the prices for the other 2, but it sounds absolutely fantastic. The thing is, if you go to their website, you could actually fill out a survey. It's a pretty long survey, but the questions aren't difficult at all. If you have 10, 15 minutes, you could fill out that survey, and they'll actually send you that plugin in 2 weeks' time for free. I believe it's exactly 2 weeks. So there's a 2-week waiting period, and then you'll get an email with the BBC plugin inside of that email for you. So definitely check that out if you're looking for symphonic or orchestral sounds and you're kind of lacking in that area. I think FL Studio is actually underrated in terms of that because they just released a plugin called Flex, and the library that comes inside of Flex is actually pretty nice. And also the library that comes stock with FL Studio, there's some nice strings that that you could play inside of Direct Wave, which I will get into later today as well. So going back to Labs, let me show you the guitar that this guy was talking about. So the Peel guitar, it's an electric guitar. Obviously, we're talking about electric guitars here. That was the first thing that I said to him, was to make sure that he's not using acoustic guitars, which I will show later in this video, because they're obviously using electric guitars. So one of the guitars that he said that he was using, that he was having a lot of trouble getting that sound with, was the free ample guitar, which is an acoustic guitar. So that's automatically going to disqualify that from getting this sound. But you'll notice that this sound is very clean and it's very classic. I forget that Labs, also the volume that comes, I guess, default, it's kind of low. So I like to crank that up. Another way that you could do it, you could go into this dynamic slider and you could crank this up as well. So let me show you what both sound like. So let me crank up the volume first. So this is what it sounds like with the volume cranked up. And then let's try the dynamic slider. I'm going to crank this up to, let's just go 70% or so. 69% sounds perfect, right? Okay, I can tell you right now, because you're not playing it by hand, you're not feeling it yourself, but I could feel like the way that it plays, I'm losing the dynamics. I was thinking it was going to add more dynamics, but it's making it louder through compression. I think that's what it's talking about there. Yeah, more compressed as we increase the dynamics here. Yeah, and then this has the most dynamics when you have this turned all the way down. So that's the difference between the volume and the dynamics. So we're just going to crank the volume all the way up. And then let's look for something a little more consistent in volume here with the dynamics. And then right here, you actually have reverb and tightness. This is the giant knob that you see on the screen. I'm not sure why they dedicated so much real estate for just this one little effect, but you can increase this to add more reverb. There aren't any other other settings that you can adjust with the reverb. It's just this one slider. What's up, Simo? How you doing? Not a bad reverb for a default reverb. It sounds very spacious for sure. I mean, that's what all reverbs sound like, right? So I don't even know what I'm saying right there. But let's move on to the second preset. So I think it was a total of 3 presets. Yeah. So a couple normal presets and then an ensemble preset. But let's take a look at what this one sounds like. Let's turn up the dynamics. I'd say this one sounds a little more dirty, a little more distorted. Turn up the reverb here. I would say the first guitar is closer to what you would probably want to start out with. No, the Peel guitar is an older library, actually. I think it came out last year. Yeah, I think it's an older library. There is a new library that I am going to cover here after I go over these guitars, though. And it's freaking fantastic. Everyone's sleeping on it. I've not seen anyone talk about it, but for a free library, it's actually one of my favorite libraries inside of Labs right now. So here's the Peel Ensemble. You can hear that chorusing effect. Crank up the reverb, some compression. No, same here, Simo. I had the exact same reaction because here I was listing all these guitars for this guy, and then all of a sudden he was like, actually, the Peel guitar in Labs sounds pretty good. And I was like, all right, let me go ahead and check that out. And sure enough, I was like, yeah, that's exactly the tone that you want to start out with. So yeah, I would say the Peel Ensemble and your Peel Guitar 1. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to leave this on Peel Ensemble right where it's at. And then let's move on to our next guitar. And then we'll start adding effects. And we'll listen to how we can make these even better with some free effects. So here's Contact. Contact has a free version called Contact Player. That's what I'm using here. The cool thing about the Contact Player, they actually allow other companies to make libraries for the Contact Player. So for example, here I have Mosaic Keys and Mosaic Voices from Heaviosity. And normally they make premium libraries for the main player or the main plugin, which is Contact. But here they are with a couple libraries for Contact Player, and trust me, they're no joke. They are premium libraries for sure. Simo says Labs is basically on budget, Contact on a budget. Yeah, for sure, for sure. Kid said he should just sample this. That's funny. That is, now that I have some more people in here, I am going to be going live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday again. So one of the things that I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be cooking up a lot, and I'm going to be giving away a lot of the stuff that I cook up. So if you guys ever hear anything that I make that I end up recording, and you guys want a copy of it, let me know. Just holla. But anyway, the factory selection comes with the Contact Player. So if you click here in Instruments, you could actually see a jazz guitar. So this is what I was saying earlier. So the guitars that you're hearing with Illenium on R&B tracks, a lot of the trap tracks, they're using jazz guitars for the most part. I know some of the more popular sample makers like Kyle Stenberger, he actually owns a Jazz Master. I think Nick Mira might have a Jazz Master as well. So those are more, the more expensive, higher end guitars that you would pick up. So in terms of trying to get that song or sound just by getting any old electric guitar, I wouldn't recommend doing that. I would stick to the plugins until you can afford like a decent jazz guitar. But let's take a listen to what this sounds like. And we're going to listen to, they have another guitar here. I thought they did. Oh, rock guitar. We'll take a listen to that too. Simo said that he tried the Metropolis Arc 1. Yeah, that library is ridiculous. I found out about that library through Alex Makula. That dude, if you guys are into this type of stuff with these orchestral sounds and symphonic libraries, check out Alex Makula on YouTube. There's no one doing it better than him in terms of YouTube tutorials and doing symphonic or orchestral music for film. And here's the kicker. He does all of it inside of FL Studio. He uses FL Studio in a way that's above and beyond anyone that I've ever seen, even in EDM. It's a whole nother level with what he's doing with event automation. That's the secret behind getting the real orchestral sound. You gotta have that event automation. So if I never saw that, I would never even. It's a whole nother level when you start automating the events. But let's take a listen to this guitar. So you could hear that right away. This is really close. The cool thing about this guitar, it has a lot that you can change here. So let's, if you change this wah to just the mod wheel, you'll already get a softer tone. Oops. So from there, you might want to increase the volume. Or that's effects. Hold on. Volume's up here. So a really nice tone with just, a stock sample library right here. But again, you could change this quite a bit. So with this tone knob, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like 6 different settings here. So let's take a listen. Okay, so those aren't settings. It's just more of an EQ than anything, a filter. So let's change this wah back to off. Change the volume back. Okay, so yeah, the tone is just a filter. What I was thinking of is the pickup. So let me change this back. Yeah, this pickup has multiple settings here. So number 2. And keep in mind, this is without adding any effects. So this is just the starting point. So you'll hear where we take this, and it'll be a whole nother level once we're done. And then you also have this drive and distortion, but let's go through the rest of the pickups here. So here's number 3. That's a really nice one. And keep in mind, I'm not going to keep adjusting the volume every time, but as the volume either increases or decreases, you could always go back in and adjust the volume to, where it needs to be. But I'm just going to try and breeze through these. And EQ too, so keep that in mind. Number 5 is really clean for sure. So I'm going to leave it on number 5, and then let's mess with the distortion. That's really nice right there. Turn this down a little bit. And then last but not least, the real secret behind really making this one really effective is actually the cabinets. So you'll hear me use this term quite a lot as we continue this live session. So in the master effects, you have these multiple cabinets that you could choose from. And I'll tell you right off the bat, the two cabinets that you're looking for are the two tweed cabinets. So the two tweed cabinets, because I'm not going to try and pronounce Alnico. Okay, I just did. So the tweed Alnico cabinet and the tweed Far cabinet, but I'll go ahead and go through all of these. I believe the default one was the, we were listening to one of those tweeds a second ago. So let's go to, there's three tweeds. Okay, tweed green. So yeah, the tweeds that I'm talking about are the tweed Alnico and tweed Far. So here's tweed green. Actually, this sounds pretty good too. So all the tweeds, they tend to be more cleaner sounding cabinets. And then there's this air knob too. Ooh, adds a little bit of texture. But I'll let you guys figure out the rest of these. You could hear that these are a lot more distorted. I said that and this sounds clean too. That sounded really nice. It might be because of the settings that I went with here. So that definitely needs some EQ, right? Let's go to the first tweed Alnico. And tweed Far. Tweed Far is definitely my favorite for sure. So I just noticed that you could turn the compression on and off as well. And keep in mind, we did all of that through just the fifth pickup. So you still have all these other tones, 9 other tones that you could go through. And then all of that was also with this wah setting turned on. So if you turn that off, you'll get a whole nother tone as well. That's where, okay, it was because of that setting. So once you turn that wah setting off, this is probably why people don't mess with this plugin, because all of a sudden, or this library, because all of a sudden for, the uses that I'm talking about here, if you don't change that, which it comes default like this, the sound that you get is is not as clean. So if you didn't switch this, you probably just skipped over this altogether and said, oh, that plugin's not going to work. I've been missing all the comments here. The orchestral guy, man, he's amazing. Yeah, for sure. It sounds synthetic until you start playing. Yeah, well, the humanization is going to be a big part of it too, right? A bit of wah-wah filter on that would be amazing. And I like to compress my guitars a lot instead of distorting them that much. Yeah, those are some good tips, actually. And then I actually will pull up a wah-wah pedal effect here towards the end of the... I keep calling it a tutorial, but we're live. Towards the end that I got from D16 Group. And it sounds freaking amazing. Like, it's so automatic. Like, it's instant sauce. But with, I think I said everything that I needed to say about this jazz guitar inside of Contact. But it sounds really, really good once you get the settings dialed in right. But yeah, when you have this turned off, you're going to have these distorted sounds. And they can work. Just really depends on what you're really going for. And I know that he was really going for the cleaner sound that you would hear in Illenium's tracks and R&B tracks and stuff like that. The chilled out vibes. Oh, that reminds me. Let me go ahead and do that. Well, yeah, let me go ahead and do that now because I'm definitely going to forget because I already forgot. So Loop Cloud actually has some really, really good libraries for these type of guitars that I just found yesterday because of this guy. So where is Loop Cloud? Oh, yeah, new computer. I just reinstalled it. Let me pull up their website because you could actually pull up, you don't have to use the plugin. Let me just sign into Loop Cloud and I'll show you some libraries that you guys would probably be impressed with if you're looking for some good guitars and you don't have to do a lot of processing or anything like that. So if you go into, let's see here. Relevant products, show all. I actually wrote them down, but I'll just point out a couple for you guys. There's this chill out. Let's see here. Did they reorganize this? Guitar synthscapes. That could be interesting. That could be really interesting. Okay, well, I might have to get back to you guys on the Loop Cloud guitar libraries for sure. I'll have to add that into a tutorial or something because I don't want to waste time browsing on this live. So let's go into the next guitar. So I was talking about stock guitars. This jazz guitar, I guess I replaced that on accident. If you go into FL Studio, a lot of you are FL Studio users. I actually don't recommend this above the other two, but I just wanted to point out that if you do go into instruments and guitar, there is a jazz guitar here. It sounds okay. You can hear like the top notes, they're just not right. They're just not right. Like it could work if you have the right processing, but with the other free alternatives, that's really what you want to go with. The other guitar that he actually brought up is dynamic guitars. This could sound okay with the right processing too. What I really like about dynamic guitars is the accent that it has when you hit full velocity on a note. So if you combine that with proper playing or just good piano roll technique, you could get a more, a more dynamic sounding sound. And there's 3 guitars in here. There's the acoustic, nylon, steel. Clicked on nylon again. Steel. What I used to like to do is take Patcher. So here's a sound design tip for you guys. If you pull up a instrument version of Patcher, you can then go into your dynamic guitars and let's go ahead and actually, I wonder if this will work. No, probably not. Let me not do that. let me not do that. Let me pull up Patcher, go into my browser, go into my plugins. Let's put dynamic guitars in there, and then put ample guitar, which is another acoustic guitar. And now we have these layered together. And the reason why I like doing that is because the texture on ample guitar sounds really nice. So once again, here's dynamic guitars by themselves. Is that? And then with it. And then you still have the inflection in the background. And what's really cool about ample guitar and their whole product line, they have this mode, the standard mode, and it says when keyboard mode is on, multiple notes can be played on the same string simultaneously, which is not how you play a real guitar. So on standard mode, only a single note can be played. So it'll play the proper notes. It'll play the notes that you would normally play with a guitar, depending on what notes you're playing with your keyboard. So it makes that sound a lot more realistic. So keep in mind, though, of course, when you layer this with dynamic guitars, which doesn't do that, you kind of lose that, but it still creates a unique sound. And then keep in mind, you can also go in here and change the character of ample guitar way more than the dynamic guitar. So if you go in here, let's go to stereo 2, let's go and turn the doubler on, increase the width here, and now we have so yeah, a whole lot of potential there in terms of getting unique sounding acoustic guitars by layering dynamic guitars with ample guitar. But let me take you over to Ample Guitar's website, because they have a really incredible guitar that no one talks about. It's $150. I might pick it up this week, because I really want to do not just do videos on it, but I actually want to use the crap out of it too. This ample guitar semi-hollow 3. But let me just play. Hopefully I won't get copyrighted for this. I don't think so. Just a really clean sounding guitar. Have I tried the Bass Native plugin? Are you talking about the one in Contact? So yeah, what I hate about these demos is the playing style. It's totally not the style that you're going for, but in terms of the sound, finding the proper starting source for your sound, this is it for sure. The stock bass plug, Boo Bass? No. Even when I first started producing, I knew not to mess with I didn't even mess with it. No. Nope. I mean, if you get good sounds out of it, that's fantastic. But when I have a plugin like Easy Bass, there's no way I'm going to be using Boo Bass. But yeah, I have a tutorial coming up on Easy Bass and some other tune track plugins. I have a series that's covering MIDI manipulation and just MIDI music production in general, and the tune track stuff, the mixed and key stuff, their Captain Plugins line. I'll be covering all that, and I'll be combining them. If you've ever seen MG the Future's videos, definitely check those out. Definitely check those out, because he has a video where he combines easy keys with Captain chords, and it's freaking amazing. And I just tested that out myself, and the results are just mind-blowing. Like stuff that I would never come up with on my own, for sure. But it's just amazing because I'm getting heavier into sync licensing. So oh yeah, Simo. I forget that you're a part of the group. But yeah, we had the sync licensing meeting today, and I was talking about how the Tune Track products, they make it so that, say for example, you make a beat and it's a trap beat, and you could take those same chords and then run the performance features of easy keys through that, and you could turn that into an R&B style feel, or a rock style feel, or whatever, and make that a sync licensing play. Turn your music into a sync licensing play just by running it through this their MIDI program, and all of a sudden you have an entirely new song. But it's really incredible. And their bass plugin, it's doing the same thing. So if you're looking for realistic bass lines, this is it for sure. That's just the default. Here's they have a modern model and a vintage model. And these get pretty aggressive. Yeah, I definitely need to dive into this a little bit more before I finish that tutorial, but I'm definitely really excited to drop some videos with this, because what this thing is capable of is incredible. So once you have your chords and stuff, so if you're using Captain chords, or if you have your own chords or whatever, or if you're using easy keys and you have your chords in there, you can go into their detection algorithm in here, go to drums and keys, drag in your keys. They could do this for drums too, which is crazy. I haven't tried it yet. They also have this audio tracker where you can drag in more bass or guitar rhythm. It's insane. And then it makes the bass line for you. And when I say it makes the bass line for you, you're probably thinking, okay, basic bass lines, but no. Like, once the bass line is in there, you have all these different patterns that you could add to the style, or I should say, you have all these different styles that you could add to your pattern of bass. And yeah, you might not understand exactly what I'm saying when I'm saying it, but when I show it, it's going to be insane. Let's see. Let me send it to the Discord so you're able to hear what I got. Just sent it to the InflightMuzik Discord. What'd you send? I'm not even sure what you sent. Let me pull up Discord. Damn it. Here we go. Okay. InFlight. Where'd you put it, you said? And the beat critiques. Man, I need to start doing beat critiques. This thing's backed up. This thing's so backed up. That's why I was afraid to even announce that I was going live. I didn't announce that I was going live. I was just like, I'm just going to sneak on live. That way I don't get bombarded with people saying, will you critique my beat? That's not what I'm trying to do today. So you're saying this is made with boo bass? Weak ass bass. That's hilarious. Yeah, there's a good bass in FL, the Hip Hop Bass 3. I like using that if I'm trying to use a realistic sounding bass that's stock. But let's see, where was I going after that? Okay, we already went to ample guitar, showed that. So let's see, I showed the patcher trick. Get rid of that, get rid of this, get rid of this. So now let's get into effects. So I'm going to leave, we still have this Labs preset. Yeah, let's go ahead and get something recorded. That way I'm not reaching for my keyboard over and over again. Let's find a tempo. 142 it is. Psych. Let me turn my metronome on. I think that did it. No. No. Control M, I believe, is metronome, right? Weak ass melody, but that'll do for just going over some effects real quick. I'm going to quantize this as well. I don't know why, but I'm going to. Quantized. And now let's get into some effects. So one of the free effects that I want to point out is actually, once again, from Native Instruments. So one of the effects bundles that David, Another Monster Productions, actually mentioned in that Q&A last Sunday. Once again, I don't have the link for David's Another Monster Productions Discord. I'll have to get that from him so I could post that in here. But yeah, once again, we do Q&As every Sunday over in his Discord. I don't know if I should start doing that in mine too. I'm kind of thinking no, but I really want to promote his and get everyone in over there because I already kind of do my own thing. So let's pull up Guitar Rig. He has the full version, but there's a Guitar Rig player, just like, you know, the guitar, the contact player. Yeah, just like the contact player. So you can see that all these say demo. So I'm using the player version of Guitar Rig. Let's go ahead and play. Oh, a good thing that I should point out. So the type of presets that you're going to be looking for are clean. So let's see if I'm actually new to Guitar Rig. I wasn't a fan when I first messed around with it, but let's see if we could search for some clean amps. Okay. Oh, okay. It did do that. Cool. This will activate demo mode for products powered by Guitar Rig and or Guitar Rig 5 Pro. Demo runs for 30 minutes. Countdown will be interrupted whenever no demo components are present in the track. Okay. You could save your settings, but they can only be reloaded once all components used have been activated. Not bad. Man, a 30-minute long demo mode? Man, people are sampling the crap out of that, right? So I guess technically if you're going to sample this, you have 30 minutes to sample your effects. Well, actually, you know what? I feel like the the full version of, oh, never mind. I'm such an idiot. It's because never mind. I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say what I was thinking. So let's go ahead and take a listen. So already that's, even though that's a clean amp, it's already distorted. So let's take a look at where the distortion might be coming from. Probably this hot solo, right? Overdrive. It's a nice sounding reverb. And remember, you have your mix knob too. That's definitely some Illenium vibes right there. That mix knob just changed everything right there. So, like, you could still have those distorted tones, but just know that, you know, you still need to have that clean tone coming through too. So, with that mix knob, this is pretty much the vibe that you're looking for right here. Yeah, it just took that boring little melody that I did there and made it pretty interesting. Let's go through some of the others. So without it, pretty boring. And then with it, adds a lot more lushness to it. So let's go ahead and take a listen. That was the Labs guitar. So that was the Peel Guitar Ensemble. Let's switch over to the first Peel guitar and listen through that same preset. Let's go back to that last preset that I really liked. This is called Clean Cave. Definitely a good name for it. Let's try the second Peel guitar. Wow. So that's really interesting because the Peel guitar number 2 went from my least favorite to now my favorite, going through this particular effect. So that being said, that reminds me of what I was saying about the jazz guitar in FL Studio. So I'm going to pull this back up and let's see what we could pull out of this, the stock jazz guitar in FL Studio with these free guitar effects. So I'm going to copy and paste our MIDI inside of Contact and the stock jazz guitar, and then I'm going to mute Labs and Contact, and now we have the jazz guitar. And then to remind you of what that sounded like before the effects, here is what it sounds like. Hold on, let me send this over to the right track, send this to track 2. So here it is without the effects. And then with. That could definitely work, especially if you adjust the release a little bit on that guitar, if that's even possible. Yeah. Probably not possible with my version of Direct Wave, but if you have the full version, you could probably edit that. But let's go ahead and continue on. Let me let you take a listen to these other guitars inside of FL Studio 2. So here's the classic acoustic. We'll run them through the same effects. So, as you can see, I definitely recommend Contact or Labs over that. So we haven't listened to Contact yet. Let me go ahead and delete the stock plugin. And now we're hearing Contact. And to remind you of what Contact sounded like before. And that's the version with the extra distortion. So we're going to listen to that, and then I'm going to clean it up back to how we had it before. But this is with Guitar Rig. Psych. Let me actually route it to the right track there. Track 2. Now here it is through Guitar Rig. Yeah, I was definitely sleeping on Guitar Rig, and you guys should definitely be able to tell if you're watching this because I didn't even have the thing activated yet. So let's go ahead and clean this up. I'm going to switch the wah on, and then that should be enough to clean it up all by itself. I'm actually going to switch the pickup back to 5 as well because we really like that one. So let's take a listen. Now that is 1000% the sound that you're looking for if you're trying to go for Illenium style EDM guitars, the chilled out guitars. And that's what I was trying to show on Loop Masters on the Loop Cloud. I'm definitely going to do a follow-up video where I show that. I'm on Monday, I think what I'll do a Cookup with the guitars from Loop Cloud, and that will introduce you guys to those libraries. And then maybe I'll do some original loops too on the same day. And then the last thing that I want to show you guys is actually this new effect that I picked up from D16, which is actually, I have them all right here. And Simo was actually talking about a nice wah. Man, the way that they name these, I always forget. So this is their chorus effect. Godfather. That's how I always want to pronounce it. But the Godphaser, that's a whole another tutorial on itself. I think it might be Anthrasol. Okay, this is their flanger, which is very similar to a phaser. Oh, for Phasertan. Yeah, Phasertan. This is their phaser. Okay, so one of these has a really nice wah filter in it. I'm going to find it. And then we'll wrap this up because I got to get going by 7 o'clock. Let's see here. Modulation. Synchronized. Wobble. I don't think this is... It still sounds nice. These plugins are so sick. Like, even if you're not looking for that particular effect, like the wah effects and the flanging effects, just the plugin, the tone, the sound, not the movement, but just the sound is just automatic to me. Like you can go in here and just disable all the modulation and just get the sound that it's creating, the texture that it's creating. But yeah, it's not Anthrasol. It's definitely a Fortizan. So let's go into these presets and go into synchronized. Gotta turn it on. Yeah. See, I would never guess to do this waveform, and it sounded really nice as a wah. Yeah, that's dope right there. And then, yeah, really simple to use plugin. Oh, that's sick. I'll definitely be using that one later on. But yeah, this is the same company that makes the Decimort plugin, which I went over last week talking about the Noah 40 Shabib technique with downsampling. So most people would use this plugin and say, oh, it's not working, but you got to turn on the images filter. And now you could use the resampler like a filter. Add some noise. Versus just instant sauce, and it's just so easy to dial that in to give it just more warmth, more character, more analog vibes just overall. And then I said that one of those 4 times that I tried streaming today, I think I was talking about Cassette from Waves Factory and how this sounds freaking amazing. You know, I always try not to get super excited in my tutorials as I'm going over it, so that I don't sound like I'm biased or, you know, trying to cheerlead for a company or anything. But yeah, there's certain plugins that I went over this past week, and all of them are definitely really cool. But this is one of those plugins where I'm just like, man, yeah, this is instant sauce. This plugin, Decimort, and speakers. And I think those are those 3 different, yeah, those are 3 different companies too. So it's not like I'm, you know, repping one company and saying, oh, they make the best analog emulation plugins or anything. These are 3 different companies, and they all do, you know, similar type stuff in terms of well, the plugins that I'm comparing, they do similar type stuff. So, yeah, I'm not cheerleading for any one company in particular. I'm just promoting what I think is freaking fantastic and what I would actually use. So, just so automatic. And then if you have something extreme like this, you can always go in and mix. And then without it, just sounds dry. Add back in the character. And this is only at a 25% mix level. 100%, 50%. So yeah, just a really cool plugin that like instantly changes your sound. Another one was speakers that I went over. And this one's from Audio Thing. Just instantly changes your sound and makes it into something that you would probably want to use if you're making dark trap or anything that's moody or melodic. Let me just go through some of these randomly. Just an instant vibe. Almost any of these presets are an instant vibe, and then without it, go to the next one. Like, it always makes me think of like movies, like what you would hear on a soundtrack or on screen, because it does produce certain vibes that just create emotion around the same exact sound that you're already using, or the same instrument that you're already using. But just that quick little change can really add the vibe that you're looking for. Another plugin that you guys might be interested in is Easy Mix from the guys that make Easy Bass tune tracks. So let's see here. Forgot my alphabet for a second. I was thinking Z. Okay, so Easy Mix. And then I'll wrap this up by running through a few more guitar rig presets, because I got to get out of here soon. So here's Easy Mix. Let's go to guitars, and let's go to jazz, and it gives us 3 right here. So let's click on the first one and play. Not bad. What's up, Tristan Beats? Here's the second one. Third one. So yeah, all those are really basic compared to the guitar rig ones, but they all definitely work. They're all clean presets that would definitely work for that Millennium guitar sound, the R&B guitar vibes, the emotional trap guitar vibes that you guys are looking for. And then inside of guitar rig, let's go through some more of these presets, because I'm really surprised how good this one sounded. So let's keep continuing on, and then we'll wrap this up. And again, this is only 25% of the mix. So if I turn this all the way up, turn it back down, and then without it. So you don't need a whole lot of heavy processing on these clean jazz guitars. So we're just looking for a little bit of extra texture, a little bit of extra color. And that's why I brought up those other hardware emulation plugins. One was emulating a cassette tape. The other one was emulating speakers and microphones. So these vintage plugins, Decimort was emulating sample rate reduction. So those techniques and these plugins can really color your sound and add the right vibe that can take a stale sound, something that sounds plain and boring. You could see that I didn't add a lot of melodic elements to the guitar. So all the excitement, all the extra energy that we're getting it's from the effects. So a little bit of delay here or there, some reverb, compression, a little bit of saturation or distortion, and some chorusing effects, maybe a little wah, like Simo was mentioning. Let's keep going through and see what other effects pop up here in this effects window. There's a Twang Reverb. That's interesting. Let's see if we can mess around with that a little bit. Oh, there's the speed. So no twang. I'm not really hearing much of a twang on there. So each of these modules, you could actually pull up their own presets as well. Oh, there we go. Oh, I must have had the vibrato off. So that's with vibrato, and here it is without it. Yeah, that's what was going on. I must have had the vibrato off. That's a pretty cool effect. And then if you actually click on the unit, you can switch these out with all these different amplifiers, cabinets, delays and echoes, distortions. I might have to pick up the full version of Guitar Rig. This is crazy. Yeah, I don't know why I didn't have a good experience with Guitar Rig before. Especially with how good it makes the stock guitar sound. I think what I will say is that there was another guitar plugin. This sounds dope. There was another guitar plugin that I was using called THU, I think. It's the guitar plugin that comes with Cakewalk, now owned by BandLabs. But their stock guitar amp plugin made by TH something, or rather, they have a really awesome amp section specifically for this type of guitar, and I was absolutely in love with it. And I would still say that the specific presets that I was using did sound better than some of these other ones that I'm hearing in terms of just clean, straight sound. But I'm getting really impressed with the additional effects that Guitar Rig is doing with the reverbs and the delays and the twang reverbs, you know? So let's keep going with some more of these presets, and then I'm head on out. This has a cool vibe. Okay, so these are the rest. These are the clean presets. This one is super clean, and it's actually not considered a demo preset, so you could actually use this the whole entire time, and you don't have the 30-minute time limit. Same thing with this one. Yeah, these all sound really great. All right, guys, it is that time. Again, I will be going live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from here on out, but I'm not sure if it's going to be at 5 p.m. or earlier. 5 p.m. will probably be the latest that I do it, but let me know in the comments below if those are good times and days for you. If you have any questions, holler at me. You could DM me on Instagram, Twitter at InflightMuzik. And my main tutorial channel on YouTube is also at InflightMuzik. Appreciate for you guys tuning in, and I'll see you guys in the next one.